information that you received after the audit?
Chair, we have noted inaccuracy, and this can only be corrected on this reconciliation in the next subsequent reporting.
No, it's not about the next period, because you are insisting that the 3.500 in the financial statement is correct. So there's nothing to correct in the financial statement. Are we, Meshach, what is there for them to correct in the financial statements if they insist that it was 3.500?
They've not yet satisfied us in explaining how it was 3.500 and not 3.515, because even if there were those arrears in the previous financial year, they were using cash basis of accounting. So even if there were arrears within the financial year, it would still feature within this as a cost for this particular year.
So, Professor, on a scale of 1 to 10, you have been a teacher. How many marks would you give your finance team on this?
Around 7.
Thank God I was not your student. Thank God I was not your student, because you'll have half-baked graduates. You can't give them 7 on this. Can't exceed 2. In fact, it's 0. It's actually 0 out of 10. Now, let's look at another one where there's an inaccuracy. I know you have not addressed the questions raised by Senator Chiratke.
Before we leave that,
Senator Dulu?
now that according to the county, they are actually rejecting the position of OAG, that the figure is 3.500. And the auditors are saying the figures according to their finding is 3.515. Can we say that OAG, we cannot account for this variance? Because we have to look at that also, even if it means that their payroll is 3.500. Can we say there is a loss or an accountability of 14.5?
Well, we just saw it as an attempt to understate the costs, the employee costs, because the amount was actually part of the payroll. The amount was actually part of the payroll, and we've not been told specifically that there was an error in this particular amount and it was refunded. You see, if that was the case...
You are not answering my question. Is there any loss as far as these issues are concerned? Because they are not agreeing with your query. Yeah? So what is the position of the 14.5 million that is in the query?
We don't see a loss in it, Chair.
Well, but if numbers cannot be reconciled, then you cannot make that conclusion. I think it is upon us to, as Senate, to make a conclusion and a recommendation. Patrick?
Chairman, please allow me to say that the reconciliation that was expected by the auditor will have been one that reconciles the figure of 3.5 million and the 3.500681 by the entity, not the one that is trying to justify the figure that is shown in the financial statement. So in this case, then, the response by the client does not answer the question. Because the 14.5 million that is asked by the Honorable Senator brings into doubt how the entity has accounted for the amount.
Exactly.
We are not able really to determine who was paid this amount of money. Yes, it's there in the payroll, but if they are trying to account for 3.500681, then who was paid the 14.5 million? I think that's the reconciliation that ought to have come into this explanation.
Chair, what the entity is trying to do, and I am not here to cast aspersions on the OAG, but I have my own issues with that. But Chair, what the entity is trying to do they are setting their own question and answering, giving their own answer. The query.
No wonder they're
is
giving themselves
7%.
crazy marks.
Yes.
Because it's.
I mean, really, because the query is a variance of 14 million Kenya shillings. But instead of dealing with that variance, they are going back to their figure and trying to justify it. It doesn't work like that, Chair. I know that people have challenges with mathematics, but this is a simple one.
I heard the OAG at some point that says, although I didn't get it right, Meshach, that the entity amended the financial statement, because when you look at note number 10 on employees' costs, it was 3.5 billion Kenya shillings. And then now, during the audit, you found 3.515. This variance of 14.5 million, where does it arise? Because I've looked at the annexed as chair, looking at payroll of 3.2 billion, salary arrears of 63 million, accrued deductions of 31.3 million, gratuity of 59.6 million, wages for temporary employees 119.08 million. Cumulatively, it comes to 3.5 billion. Governor, without casting aspersions, could there, and I want to repeat my question, could there be people that are paid through Impress or outside the IPPD, or people who are ghosts